Now, have you ever? Okay, this can be Injustice related or Mortal Kombat 11, or Mortal Kombat related. Have you ever underestimated a character or a variation? Like when you played online, like somebody online picked her up, you was like, "This is about to be easy," and then you just end up getting your ass whooped.
Yep, yes sir, yes
I'm gonna
sir,
let you
yes
answer
sir.
first, but I have an Injustice example and a Mortal Kombat example. I'm gonna tell you my answers. You can go ahead first.
All right. So the main one is for MK11. That's Spare Change Collector, man.
Ha People
It's
sleep on my boy Collector.
I got Daily Rebel, that pro player, man. He picked that variation because I've never seen him. I've only heard him, and I was like, people saying that he was real good with collecting. And I was like, okay, he
Yeah, him
probably
and
just
Burrito Voorhees, they're really good with Collector.
yeah. Yeah, I just automatically assume he's using V1. And then you pick V2. I'm like, what's in this variation? He just got to throw fire and throw the little bomb in the air.
Was this before Squander had came out? Was this before the third variations?
I think this. Yeah, it was before. It was before.
Okay.
Yeah, he was using spare change, and I was like, okay, yeah, this about to be kind of free. I'm not even gonna lie.
Little did you
Yeah,
know.
he put me in the corner. I was stuck there for both the KL sets. And then for the other games,
Injustice 1 or 2, yeah. Was there ever a character you underestimated and end up getting your ass kicked online by somebody who was using them?
Injustice 2 was Blue Beetle.
That was actually the second person I picked up. I picked up a Tri-Shooters then Blue Beetle. I liked him.
Yeah, I underestimated Blue Beetle so much. And then once I started fighting people that was good with him, I started to get that feeling like I might pick this character up because I just got washed by him. And then Injustice 1, Doomsday and Injustice 1.
So the first one, I ended up winning this match, but I ended up winning matches 2 and 3. Like the first one, I got my ass slaughtered. I had to sit up in my chair. I had to make sure my collar was straight. I had to make sure I had some water. I'm like, all right, I have to try my hardest. Like my life was on the line with this match. I got my ass whooped by a locked and loaded Aaron Black player. And this was before Aftermath. This was before they buffed it. Like, he picked it. I had Shang Tsung Warlock
with the trap, right?
Yeah, the trap and the acid port move. I had Warlock Shang Tsung, who was my main, and I'm like locked and loaded Aaron Black. This about to be the dude account when he was like a level 52 player. He ain't had no crazy online record or nothing. So I'm like you said, I'm like, this about to be free. I'm about to whoop this person ass. Oh my gosh. This dude was whooping my ass the whole match. The first match wasn't even close, dude. He got both rounds off me off rip. I was like, oh my goodness. I sat up real quick. I'm like all that shit I was talking about Aaron Black. I take all that back. This dude was messing me up, man. He was just setting up the traps at the perfect time. He was amplifying it and kicking it towards me. I'm like, bro, stop throwing stuff at me. This is annoying. It was just all bad. So after that, I ended up winning the next 2 matches, but it was barely. I had 5% health left in both matches when I won. So after that match, I actually still have to replay saves to this day because that's how crazy that match was. I don't know if they have the date for when you have a match on the replay. Oh yeah, they do. This shit happened. It was a player named Namiru Rajan on Xbox. Namiru Rajan. This shit happened April 3rd, 2020. And I still have it saved to this day. God was just so surprised about how much I got my ass beat. I'm gonna actually take a picture of this shit and send it to you on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, this is the dude I was talking about in the podcast.
All right, bet.
I've never underestimated somebody in Mortal Kombat that hard. That loaded like a loaded Aaron Black player with my ass. And Injustice 2, this never happened. But Injustice 1, Mortal Kombat X didn't happen either. Injustice 1, it was a character in the game that I pretty much ignored. I didn't think the character was anything too crazy. So this person, it was a ranked match. I'm like, all right, I'm about to win pretty easily. This ain't nothing. And then this person pretty much almost got a double flawless victory. I took 12% health off of their health in total, and they mollywopped me. And that character was Raven. He picked Raven, and he killed me.
Raven was so cool.
I didn't know nothing about Raven. I thought it was gonna be a free match, and I got my ass whooped. Every combo he was doing was 35+%. I'm like, how? And this is also before I knew when you turn on her trait and you do that Event Horizon move, how it grabs you all the way from full screen. Because Injustice full screen is long as hell. It's like a football field kind of long. So he was just throwing it out, catching me all the way from full screen and me to burn it. I'm like, what is the range on this move? This is
that was the very first character that I used in that game.
Raven, really?
Yeah, because I liked her in the show.
Teen Titans.
Yeah, so I was using her in Injustice 1. That was the very first character. I never dropped her either. I just started using all the other characters, trying to test them out.
When it came to that match, I almost cried. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I did not know Raven was this good. Another character where it wasn't in the same like story in terms of I underestimated them. I got my ass beat, but it was somebody that I would always go with neck and neck with somebody who used his character. Like I never got my ass beat by him, and or I never kicked that person's ass. It was always whenever I came across a person who was good using this character, it was always so close. And I never even picked the character up. Like I tried, but they just wasn't to my liking. That person was Ares, bro. Did you ever use Ares?
Oh yeah, I used Ares. I did use Ares. I started to use them at a high level too.
Yeah, Ares was somebody I always had like problems with. I would always go back and forth with an Ares player.
Yeah, Ares was super good. His trait was great. His trait
The
was
axe and the straight
axe and the
sword.
sword. Yeah, his trait was great. That character was good.
His super move is the best one in the game. Let's get that clear too.
Oh yeah,
He would grow to like 10,000. First of all, he would shoot all the million
all the
arrows,
arrows.
and then he would go a
Yeah.
million feet tall and just smash you with his hand. That was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Justice One has some characters where you can definitely sleep on them. But if you knew when you get somebody who know how to use them, you can get stumped for real. Oh, you know what? I got somebody else for you. This is another time where this happened in the first Injustice. Somebody else picked a character I thought I was gonna win, ended up getting murdered. Was Lex Luthor, dude. I went against a Lex Luthor player and they killed me. I was like, bro, why is Lex Luthor so skinny and he wearing this huge ass suit? Like, what is this? Yeah, bro. And the Lex Luthor is definitely one of those people too. If you know how to use him, you can murder somebody for real.
Mhm. I actually in the first game I've never fought him in the first game, not online or well I probably have fought against AI with him, but I've never fought him online.
He just had a million things to do. He's had the orbital laser. He had the trap he could throw on the ground, the little two orbs. He can, because first of all, Brainiac moveset heavily borrowed from Lex Luthor. Like so much stuff that he can do, Lex Luthor had in the first game. So it was kind of lazy, but I get it because like they pretty much have the same technology and shit. But yeah, and Lex Luthor and Raven, those are two people I completely ignored, thinking I was gonna win easily, and I got killed by them.
Yeah, Raven was super good.
In Injustice 2, there's a lot of characters that I chose not to use because they're legacy characters that I use in Injustice 1. So Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, pretty much anybody that was in Injustice 1, I went into Injustice 2 not wanting to use those characters. Everybody I picked up in Injustice 2 was a new person. I started with Atrocitus. I went to Blue Beetle. Then I picked up Dr. Fate, Black Canary. Like I was purposely using characters that wasn't in the first game. Have you ever did anything like that? Like you used the person so much in the first game, you was like, for this one, I'm gonna pick somebody else.
I'm pretty sure it's just Batman. Batman was it because Batman was super cool in the first. He's still the same in the second one, but I found him super fire in the first. And then when they put him in the second one, he for some reason I just lost interest in him because he was back. But, it's Batman, so I should have expected it, but I don't know. I just lost interest in him. I didn't use him at all.
That's really how it be sometimes, man. You be like, yeah, we had our history before. I don't know if I care to go back to this person. Yeah, even to this day, like I have so many Injustice 1 characters on level 1 but I never picked them up in the second game.
I think I've only used Batman once in Injustice 2, and it was just for a quick video. I uploaded a video with him and then dropped him again right after.
Yeah, he just really he just wasn't the move this time around, was he? Shit. And what about any other? How did you feel about the DLC characters in Injustice 2? Because I picked up everybody except for Enchantress and Hellboy. They the only people I didn't use. But my favorite was Adam. I love using Adam.
Oh my god!
How you feel about DLC characters in Injustice 2?
The DLC. Okay, I'm just saying this right off the bat, right off the start. I hated Starfire. I hated her completely.
And you speak for a lot of people with that one for sure.
From a trailer, bro, I wasn't interested at all. But I never, when the game was out and he dropped, I never used Hellboy. I just used him I just re-downloaded the game a couple weeks ago and then did one combo with him, and then I deleted the game again. I never really got to use him. I didn't. I really wanted the Turtles like real bad, but I never got them. Really? I still don't have them right now. Yeah,
hey, bro, you sleeping on them for sure, bro. They were really fun.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them, and then Raiden and Sub-Zero, I picked them up. I picked them up super fast. And I maxed both of them out in the first day. And then I've never touched Adam, and I made Enchantress my second main.
After Cheetah, really?
Yeah, right after Cheetah. Like if I would lose a game with Cheetah, like if I was going against because Cheetah was heavily zoned out in that game. So whenever she gets zoned out, and I was like, okay, fine. I'll pick Enchantress. I would use her trait, her little minion that come up, block all the projectiles, and then just start doing Enchantress things. So that's why I picked her up. And plus she was just a real cool character to me too. Like I like the whole June Moon thing, and then the witch coming up from behind her and stuff like that. She just looked cool and she played cool, so I picked her up. And I don't think I'm missing any other DLC character, am I? Oh, Black Manta. I didn't use him either when he dropped. I just recently used him.
His super move was one of the dopest. That trailer, bro, and him just walking around in the fire, that was so cool.
Yeah, that was fire. I did like his trailer, but I had him. I have him. Like I bought him, but I don't know why I haven't used him.
Manta was somebody I actually picked up before Aquaman. Like I got to him before Aquaman. Because Aquaman was a legacy character. You know, I wasn't using nobody from the first game. But Black Manta I picked up, and I was definitely a fan of him. And in terms of Raiden and being in Injustice 2, I don't think I've ever been so hyped for a character to be in a fighting game, and then I just flat out didn't use them. Because Raiden is my favorite Mortal Kombat character, like in general, like of all time. Like when I was younger, I told you me and my brothers used to play Deadly Alliance at my dad's house. Raiden was my favorite character to use back then. So just throughout MK history, he was my favorite one. And then just him being in Injustice 2, I was so hyped for saw the trailer. First of all, Ares has the best super in Injustice 1. Raiden has the best super in Injustice 2, without question.
Yeah, he does.
That
he
MK
does.
Dragon logo is just the most beautiful thing in the world.
That caught me off guard, man. I even watched the little live reaction to the crowd watching it. Dude, oh my god.
That was insane. That they went all out for his super move. That was the best thing ever. But Raiden, I've never been so pumped up for a character in the game and then just didn't use him. When he finally dropped and I had him, I've never even took him to practice or nothing. I just didn't care about Raiden in that game. I don't know what happened. It's like I was so hyped to get it, and then when I finally got it, I was like, okay, I have Raiden now. I don't know what to do. I just started using everybody but him. Oh, there is a DLC character that neither me or you have said yet.
Wait, who?
Red Hood.
Oh yeah, Red Hood. No, I've never touched him. Nope, never touched him.
Oh man, Red Hood was a dog. He was a dog.
Wasn't he the very first?
Yeah,
DLC?
the very first DLC character. Yep.
Yeah.
That's probably how we forgot about him. We were thinking about the later people.
Yeah, I found him interesting. He was interesting to fight too, but I've never used him.
Red Hood was definitely fun. Yeah, you sleep on him. I can't speak for people like Hellboy and Entrances because I haven't used them. But Black Manta and Red Hood, you should have picked them up at some point.
Yeah.
What about the base roster characters that you didn't use, like non-DLC?
Which characters I didn't use?
Yeah, did you use like Poison Ivy? Did you use her?
Oh no. I tried to take her in practice, but she was like, I didn't like how you had to play her. Like she had a lot of multi-hitting moves, so you have to spam the buttons and stuff like that.
Yep, you sure did.
But her combos was super nice.
It was actually a character who, in the first game, I picked them up, and their counterpart, essentially, in the second game, I didn't use was Deathshot. I was a Deathstroke player in the first Injustice, but Deathshot Injustice 2, I didn't care for him.
I'm gonna tell you now, bro. Automatically off the start, everybody that plays Injustice 2 has to second main Deathshot.
Really?
Because this is why. You gonna run into a lot of scrubby players, especially Dr. Fate people, because a lot of people that used him, all they did was zone. And Deadshot, his projectiles, he had bouncing projectiles that you couldn't block or duck. Or you could block it, but you couldn't duck it. He had the straight shot. Don't get me started on the rifle. The rifle was great.
The meter burn too. That chip damage was crazy.
Yeah, that's the character you have to use him. Like you have to need him. So I picked him up. He was the third character that I started using, and then he was just like how Jade was. Like I could tell that the character has some potential under the stuff that they're usually supposed to be doing. Like just like I was saying about Emerald Defender and stuff like that. I was using her projectiles and combos. So I was doing that with him. Like I would do a knockback combo, end it with the little pistol shot real quick, and then go back into another combo, and then finish it off with the little knee move that he did. I
Yep.
was real stylish with him. Like down twos into his straight, 2 punches into a fire shot, and then finish it off with the knee. I was like that with him. I didn't like. I only zoned with him whenever I fought somebody that was purposely trying to be annoying.
Yeah, you had to fight fire with fire. Just start shooting
Hmm.
them back.
Yep, that's exactly what I picked him up for.
It was it's crazy because what I said about the legacy character things. There were actually some players I didn't know how to use in any game. Like they were in both Injustice 1 and 2, and I still didn't care about them. And those two people were Bane and Black Adam. I don't know how to use them in either game.
Bane is super good. Black Adam is actually, I think he was definitely, I think he was top one in Injustice
When it first
Injustice
came
2.
out, yeah.
Yeah, and Injustice 1, I think he was the same. I think he was top tier in both games.
I use Shazam more than him for some reason.
Yeah, Shazam was cool too.
Shazam just had like extremely stubby arms. I hated that shit. I mean,
Hmm.
he is a 10-year-old boy technically, so I guess that's why. But his range on his back three, which is horrible. I hated using Shazam sometimes.
Yep.
Something about Black Adam and Bane, I just couldn't get with it. Don't get me wrong, Bane's crazy damage with his Venom was wild to see, but I don't know. When it came to Black Adam, I guess just having two lightning characters in the game, I just went towards Shazam more.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I mean, it's the hero, so you're gonna look at the hero before the villain for the most part. And then Bane was super interesting. I used him in Injustice 2. I didn't use him that much in 1, but I used him in 2.
They made him look cooler, like his colored Venom pipes. Oh, those are so cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then changing it like his mask and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he
I
was
didn't like his
super
super
cool
moves
too.
though. That shit was kind of weird. How you can just float in the air and just continually punch people. I guess I shouldn't look at it as weird because these are all like fake like people superheroes. Like if a person can spit fire and shoot arrows that can freeze you, I feel like that shouldn't be bothering me. But him being in the air suspended for like 12 seconds, like punching and doing DDTs, I'm like, this shit kind of stupid.
Yeah, I like the way he closed it out. I like the little DDT thing that he do.
With the fire that was erupting because it was falling down so quick.
Yeah, yep.
There was what I said about forcing yourself to use people in Mortal Kombat. In terms of Injustice, there were two people in Injustice 2 that I forced myself to use, and I was like, hold up, they actually really fun. And actually, both of these people have incredible super moves. Both those two people were Swamp Thing and Captain Cold.
Oh yeah.
I taught myself how to use them, especially Swamp Thing. I'm like, hey, dude, I like this dude, bro.
Yeah, Swamp was fire. Swamp was super fire. And then Cold, Actually, I think he was top tier, wasn't he? Cole was top tier.
I never learned how to use the tech with his second level trait where you shoot the ice grenade that slows the person down in the corner. I never learned how to do that.
Yeah. You would just not drop your combos, but in your combos with that. And
I was just seeing people doing it like in YouTube videos and stuff, and I was like, I think I started learning this after I picked up the character, and it was like I already got done with him and moved on to somebody else. So like by the time I saw other people doing it, I'm like, I'm not about to go back to him to learn that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen Sonic actually named him.
Yeah, yep. He ended up winning a tournament with Joker. I don't know how that happened, but it's Sonic. So.
Joker is the setup beast.
That chattering teeth, I used to underrate the heck out of that move. I didn't think it was that serious.
That move was insane.
This may be kind of petty, but there was a character in Injustice 1 that I picked up later on in the game's life cycle, and I was really good with them. But then they changed one thing about him in Injustice 2, and it made me not like the character anymore. It was one tiny change, and I was like, "Yep, I don't care about using them." And there was Catwoman, bro. In Injustice 1, her forward one was an overhead attack. They changed it to a mid in Injustice 2, and that's all I needed. I was like, yep. Because she used to have instant lows and instant overheads in Injustice 1. But she had a back three that was a low, and her forward one was a quick overhead. They changed that forward one to a mid, and I just never picked up Catwoman in Injustice 2 because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's super petty to some people, but I'm like, nope. I just couldn't pick her up because of that.
I only picked her up because it's Catwoman.
Oh, you just like the villain Catwoman in general?
Yeah. And I like her combos. Like she was the only character in any fighting game that when a person is doing everybody do the same combo with, and I don't have a problem with it because I actually liked it. I like the little back and forward slash straight into back two or back three. I
Back
mean,
three, yep.
yeah, I like that.
But you really think about it though, the Injustice combat system in general is the same. It's just combo string into a stun special move, into a back three, a jump attack, and then finish the combo string into another special move. Every character
Exactly.
had that.
It's the same thing, but I didn't have a problem with that. I don't know why. It was fine with me.
That's pretty much every character. That's all you needed was something into a stun move, into a back three, and just continue from there. As long as you could do that with any character, you was good to go.
Yeah.
The next thing I wanted to talk to you about, because this is something I saw people say about MKX that I typically ignored that first, but I'm like, hey, you know what? This is actually a good point. I feel like NRS should do something with this. It was I was pretty much watching one of them videos about how people were saying the variation system like sucks. Y'all just limited the character, blah blah blah. I came across somebody years ago that had said there are some variations that are just so different from the character to the point where they could have been brand new characters in themselves. Like the way you use this variation is just so different from the other two. Like this could have been a whole new character. And the two examples they gave were Ronin Takeda and Duelist Liu Kang. And I was like, you know what? Duelist Liu Kang for sure could have just been a new character, like somebody that can control like light and dark like that.
Like, yeah, that would have made more sense for him. I can see that.
Takeda with the post blades. I'm like, bro, this could have then because in Shiro Ryu and last year he used the whips and then he could teleport. But with Ronin, just somehow all the whips attacks are gone and he just suddenly got two post blades that he used. It's like this for sure could have just been a different character.
Yeah, they should have just gave that to the original people that used them.
Like Sector had the post blades.
Yeah, Sector and Cyrex. They could have just gave it to them.
But nah, they didn't want to do all that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand.
But I saw that person say that. I was like, damn, they right. Duelist Liu Kang is just insanely different from Flame Fist and Dragon's Fire, I think it was called. It's like Duelist Liu Kang was just so cool to look at. But I'm like, y'all could have used this entire idea and just created a new character.
Yeah, a person that control light and dark, and that actually could be two different variations. You can have dark, you can have light, and then you can just have some other third variation.
Yeah, but this is NRS we're talking about here. I don't think they thought that far. Well, they did, but they just didn't care. But this may be an unpopular opinion, but the variation system to me in general is cool. I like having different ways to play each person.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have no problem with the variations. Because it kind of helps you. Because every variation is obviously always different from the next. So it's helping you learn how to play a certain way, and then the next variation it teaches you how to play a totally different way from the first one. Then the third one is the same thing. So that's why I kind of thrived off of it, and I got better as a player.
I will give the people on the opposite end who hate the variation system, one thing that I will give them is when those people say that most people are just going to use the best variation anyway. I agree with that because I never came across a sorcerer or a warlock Quan Chi player. Everybody was using summoner, bro. So I agree with that.
The one with
the bat.
The bat, yeah.
The warlock was the one where he could just grab you from the portals, and then sorcerer where he can create the rooms like under you and stuff.
I've seen that used at a high level. I've seen the little summoner one at a high level. Not the summoner one. The sorcerer. The one with the portals and stuff like that. Not the portals. I'm trying to think. I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, the one where he set it up on the ground, one he can get armor from, and stuff like that. I've seen that at a high level.
I used to just love to search up YouTube videos of underrated variations just to see what they could do. But in terms of just finding players online, I was always coming across summoner players. So I agree with the people who hate variations in that sense. I mean, you're gonna come across like 75% of the people you come across is going to use that variation anyway. Yeah. It don't even have to be the best. It can be the most popular. I come across Syrian Rage players way more than the other two variations, but that's not even his best one. How do you feel about counter picking in general? Because you see a lot of people complaining about that, saying that you shouldn't. Well, some people say if you're a punk, if you have to change your character just because your opponent picked somebody, you should just learn to match up, blah, blah, blah. Other people saying like, nah, it's strategic because sometimes you just dead ass can't win with one variation compared to another. How you feel about that?
Counter picking. I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta do what you gotta do to win. That's all I got to say about that. If you're gonna counter pick, you're gonna counter pick. honestly, it's a smart move because it's helping you win, and that's what if that's what matters to you is winning. Then you're gonna do what you got to do. It's the same with zoning. Like, yeah, zoning is scrubby, but people gonna do what they got to do to win. So if you're gonna counter picking, you just only do what you're gonna do. In a
So,
way, it helps me.
would you say that some because people love to say Mortal Kombat 11 is like balanced and whatnot, but in that sense, would you say that the game isn't balanced because there are people who, when it comes to counter picking, they'll be like, "Bro, I'm not about to force myself to use this character just to learn the matchup. If you're gonna keep playing with this playstyle, I'm just gonna pick somebody else." And zoning is an easy example. There are some characters who just seriously can't handle zoning, and like, I'm not about to deal with it. I'd rather just pick another character. So in that case, how is the game balanced then for people who say it's very balanced?
The game balance for
Like if you have to pick another character just to deal with a particular type of game, a play style, is it really balanced?
um okay, I guess you can say that, but I can select a few characters that just that's completely different from that. Like everybody needs. I feel like a character needs highs and lows.
Right.
Like I don't want a specific character to only win. I don't want a specific character to just be unstoppable to everybody, not losing to no other character in the game. So, like for example, Shang literally loses to nobody. There's probably maybe Scorpion, but people would say that matchup is 5-5. Like you don't lose to Scorpion.
One thing I do when I'm learning a character is that I try to ignore matchups in the sense that like going into it knowing the matchup is probably like 8-2. I would just play it anyway because I want to learn that character. So same thing with Combat League. If I'm learning how to use I know how to use Shao Kahn. Let me pick somebody else. Say I'm picking up Kung Lao. I'm trying to learn Kung Lao, and I'll go into the first match and I lose to a Johnny Cage player. I will even though I got my ass beat, I will force myself to use Kung Lao in that second match because I want to learn the matchup. I'm not about to lose with
Yeah,
Kung Lao and
exactly.
then just switch to my main character. You're not about to beat me right now if I go to my main character because it's like you're not gonna learn that way.
That's
If
honestly
you
smart.
switch every time you lose, you're not gonna learn the matchup or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's better situations out there than a normal online match that you're gonna need that.
But yeah,
That's
when it
why.
comes to MK11 ranked in Combat League, like you said, people gonna do what they gotta do to win. They don't care about
Yeah,
all that.
exactly. I've I mean, I only main one character in that game, and she get counterpicked by a lot of characters in the game. But I'm not gonna try to switch. I might switch variations and try to see how that can hang with that character. But you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that difficulty because it's probably gonna make you stronger. You're gonna start growing used to exactly what in that character beats your character. When you get used to it, and then you go into a high level like a tournament or something like that, and you find out like, okay, this character about to do this, and this thing right here definitely beats Jade or beat whatever character I use. So let me look out for that. And then you like I said, you grow used to it, and then who knows, you can pull off a win. So
Because
that
the way I was always looking at it was how because people switch characters when they think they can't win with the character they have. That's just the bottom line. If you picked up Kung
Mhm.
Lao and you lost and you switch, like okay, that means you switch because you don't think you can win with Kung Lao at this moment. But my thing is, if you don't think you can win with Kung Lao, why would you pick him in the first place? Like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly.
It's like I feel like that was just something that I used to think back in the older seasons of Combat League, like seasons 3 and 4. I used to be confused when I would beat somebody and they would switch characters. I'm like, if you you picked Liu Kang and I beat you the first time, but if you don't think you could beat me with Liu Kang, then why would you choose him to begin with? I feel like you should stick with one character.
Yeah,
Like people do what they gotta do to win.
especially if you see them pick a character that you know beats your character, why are you picking your character?
No.
Unless all I will understand is if you main that one character and that's it. But I mean, I don't. You see them picking your counter pick. Why would you pick your character?
Yeah, I'm somebody where I just try to win with the person I got. I just can't see myself switching characters.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to Combat League, if I'm like on a rank up match, then of course I'll have to win by whatever means necessary. But other than that, I just stick with one person. But
Mhm.
in regards to it wasn't Combat League, it was something else I was about to say. God damn it, I hate when I lose my train of thought. Okay, we was talking about Combat League. We was talking about doing what you gotta do to win rank up matches. something. Bro, that shit was right at the tip of my tongue. Then I'm like, no, let me wait to ask. He's still talking. Then I immediately lost what I was about to say. This is the worst fucking feeling.